Every samurai carried two swords, one for fighting enemies, one for ending their own life with honor if they failed. But there's a third blade nobody talks about, the blade turned inward, not for death, but for truth. The samurai understood something we've forgotten. The deepest battles aren't fought on battlefields. They're fought in the space between who you are and who you're afraid you might be. Your addiction isn't attacking you, it's protecting you from feelings you don't want to feel, from truths you don't want to face, from a version of yourself you're terrified to meet. And until you turn that third blade inward, until you face what you're really running from, you'll keep running. Today, I'm going to teach you what the samurai knew. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the willingness to feel what you've been avoiding. Let me show you how. I know why you're here. You've been fighting your addiction like it's an enemy. You hate it. You're ashamed of it. You see it as proof that you're weak, broken, or fundamentally flawed. Every time you give in, the shame deepens. Every time you relapse, you think, I'm the problem. I'm not strong enough. I don't have what it takes. And this internal war is exhausting you because you're not just battling the addiction, you're battling yourself. You wake up every morning and the first thought is, not today. Today, I'll be stronger. Today, I won't give in. And you carry that burden all day long, white-knuckling through cravings, resisting urges, fighting yourself. And then one moment of weakness, one trigger, one overwhelming feeling, and you break, and the shame crashes over you like a tidal wave. Here's what every addiction program, every therapist, every well-meaning friend tells you. Addiction is the enemy. Cravings are attacks. Urges must be defeated. You need to be stronger, more disciplined, more willpower-driven to win the war. And so you keep fighting, you keep resisting, you keep going to battle. But here's what nobody tells you. The war itself is destroying you more than the addiction ever could. What if everything you've been taught is backwards? What if addiction isn't your enemy at all? What if it's actually trying to teach you something? This is what Japanese philosophy understood for over 1,000 years. This is what Zen masters, samurai warriors, and tea ceremony practitioners discovered through centuries of observing human suffering. They learned something that will completely transform how you see your struggle. They learned that addiction is not the disease, it's the symptom. It's not the enemy, it's the messenger. And when you stop fighting the messenger and start listening to the message, everything changes. Let me tell you a story. There's an ancient Zen story about a monk who was visited by a demon every night. The demon was hideous, grotesque, terrifying, relentless. It would appear in his room and torment him. The monk tried everything to defeat it. He chanted sutras to banish it. He prayed for protection. He meditated for hours, trying to use spiritual techniques to make it go away. He even fasted, thinking perhaps purification would drive the demon out. But every single night, without fail, the demon returned. And every night, the monk grew more exhausted, more desperate, more afraid. This went on for months. The monk stopped sleeping. He stopped eating properly. His fellow monks saw him withering away, consumed by this nightly battle. Finally, one evening, after another exhausting encounter with the demon, the monk collapsed on his mat. He was too tired to fight anymore, too tired to chant, too tired to resist. He just sat there in the darkness, and for the first time, he didn't try to make the demon go away. When the demon appeared that night, something different happened. The monk, in his exhaustion and surrender, did something he had never done before. He didn't fight, he didn't pray, he didn't resist, he simply bowed. He looked at this terrifying creature and he said, "Welcome, I see you. What have you come to teach me?" The demon froze. In all its existence, no one had ever welcomed it before. No one had ever asked what it wanted to teach. Everyone had only tried to destroy it, banish it, run from it. And in that moment of being seen, of being acknowledged, of being honored, the demon transformed. Its grotesque face softened, its terrifying presence became gentle, and it spoke. It showed the monk the fears he'd been avoiding, the pain he'd been running from, the parts of himself he'd exiled into darkness because they felt too shameful, too scary, too overwhelming to face. The demon revealed that it had been trying to get his attention all along. It wasn't there to destroy him, it was there to show him what needed healing. The demon didn't disappear, but it stopped being terrifying because it was no longer the enemy. It was the guide. It was the teacher. Your addiction is that demon. Right now, you're in the fighting stage. You're exhausted. You're frustrated. You're losing. But what if you tried what the monk tried? What if you stopped fighting for just one moment and asked, what are you trying to show me? Not what's wrong with me, but what's wounded in me. What feeling am I avoiding? What truth am I not ready to face?
Let me tell you another story. In Kyoto, there was once a tea master whose daughter struggled with what we would now call addiction. She would disappear for days at a time, vanish without a word, and then she'd return hollow-eyed, ashamed, broken. She would promise her father it would never happen again. She would swear she was done, and he would believe her because he loved her. But then days or weeks would pass, and she would disappear again. The father was heartbroken. He tried everything. He tried punishment, thinking maybe consequences would stop her. He tried pleading, begging her to see what she was doing to herself and to the family. He tried locking her in her room, thinking if he could just keep her away from the substance, she would heal. Nothing worked. Nothing changed. And with every relapse, his heart broke a little more. One evening, she returned after a particularly long absence, 3 weeks this time. She looked like a ghost. She couldn't even meet his eyes. She stood in the doorway of their home, trembling, waiting for the anger, waiting for the disappointment, waiting for the lecture about how she was throwing her life away. But her father said nothing. He simply prepared tea. He moved slowly through the ritual, his hands steady and calm. He set 2 cups on the low table between them. He poured the tea with the same deliberate grace he'd practiced for 40 years. The steam rose between them like prayers. And then he said, so quietly she almost didn't hear him, "Tell me about the emptiness." She looked up, confused. "What emptiness?" "The one you're trying to fill," he said gently. "Because whatever you're using to fill it isn't working. I can see that. You can see that. So perhaps we should stop talking about what's wrong with you and start talking about what's hurting inside you. What does this emptiness look like? When did it form? What shape does it take? What does it need?" For the first time in years, she wept. Not from shame this time, not from guilt or self-hatred, but from being seen, from having someone ask not what was wrong with her, but what was wounded in her, from having her father look at her struggle not as a moral failure, but as a signal that something inside her needed attention, needed healing, needed care. They sat together that evening and talked for hours, and for the first time, she began to understand that her addiction wasn't the problem. It was pointing to the problem. It was showing her where the pain lived, where the wound had never healed, where she needed help. This is the Japanese way. Don't ask what's wrong with me. Ask what's wounded in me. Don't see addiction as the enemy. See it as the finger pointing at the wound. Because here's the truth that will set you free. Addiction doesn't attack randomly. It doesn't just show up in your life for no reason. It finds the cracks. It finds the pain. It finds the unhealed wounds, the unmet needs, the feelings you've been avoiding, the truths you've been running from, and it tries to help you survive them. The problem is, it helps in a way that ends up hurting you. But the intention, the original impulse, was protection. Let me explain what I mean. Addiction is not the disease, it's the symptom. In Japanese medicine and philosophy, they have a concept called hara. It means the center, the gut, the place where emotional truth lives. When your hara is disturbed, when there's pain or imbalance or unmet need, your entire system tries to restore equilibrium. Your body, your mind, your spirit, they all work together to try to bring you back into balance. And addiction is your system's attempt to restore that balance. It's clumsy, it's destructive, it doesn't work in the long term, but it's trying. It's your brain saying, there's pain here, I need to make it stop. There's loneliness here, I need to fill it. There's fear here, I need to numb it. There's overwhelm here, I need to escape. Think about it honestly for a moment. When do you crave? When do the urges hit hardest? It's not random. It's when you're stressed, when you're lonely, when you're bored, when you're afraid, when you're overwhelmed, when you're sitting with feelings that feel too big, too painful, too uncomfortable to bear. The craving isn't the problem. It's pointing to the problem. It's saying there's something here that needs your attention. There's a feeling here that needs to be felt. There's a need here that isn't being met. Most recovery programs say ignore the craving, fight the urge, resist the temptation, use willpower, be strong, don't give in. But Japanese philosophy says something completely different. It says listen to what the craving is protecting you from. Because when you heal the wound, when you meet the unmet need, when you feel the feeling you've been avoiding, the craving loses its power. Not because you fought it, but because you understood what it was trying to tell you.
Now let me teach you about Kintsugi. This is one of the most beautiful philosophies to come out of Japan, and it will change how you see yourself. Kintsugi is the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with gold lacquer. When a ceramic bowl or vase breaks, instead of throwing it away or trying to hide the cracks, the Kintsugi master takes those broken pieces and puts them back together. But here's the key. They fill the cracks with lacquer mixed with gold. They make the breaks visible. They honor the damage. They don't pretend the bowl was never broken. They celebrate the fact that it broke and survived. And when the repair is finished, the bowl is more valuable than it was before it broke. Because now it has a story. Now it has history. Now it has visible proof that it has lived, been loved, been broken, and been made whole again. The gold-filled cracks are not flaws. They're the most beautiful part. They're what makes that particular bowl unique, precious, irreplaceable. You've been treating your addiction like something to hide, a shameful secret, a flaw that makes you less than everyone else, a crack that proves your damaged goods. But what if it's actually your Kintsugi? What if the struggle, the relapse, the mess, what if that's the crack that's supposed to be filled with gold? What if your addiction isn't the thing that makes you broken, but the thing that shows you where the healing needs to happen? And when that healing happens, when you pour gold into those cracks, you become more beautiful, more valuable, more fully yourself than you ever were before the breaking. There's another Japanese concept you need to know. It's called Wabi Sabi. It means finding beauty in imperfection, seeing the sacred in the flawed, honoring the incomplete, the impermanent, the humble. In Western culture, we're obsessed with perfection. Everything has to be flawless, polished, Instagram ready. But Japanese philosophy says that's not where beauty lives. Beauty lives in the imperfect, in the weathered, in the broken and repaired. A tea bowl with a chip in it is more valuable than a perfect factory-made one. Why? Because it's been used, it's been lived with, it has a story. Your addiction, your struggle, your relapses, they're not making you less valuable. They're making you human. They're making you real. They're giving you a story. And when you stop hiding that story, when you stop being ashamed of the cracks, when you start filling them with gold through the work of healing and self-compassion, you become a Kintsugi masterpiece. But here's what you need to understand on a deeper level. Every addiction is protecting you from something. Every craving is trying to meet a need. The problem is it's meeting the wrong need or meeting the right need in a way that causes more damage. Human beings have core needs. We need safety. We need connection. We need to feel significant, like we matter. We need growth. We need certainty. We need variety. These are not luxuries. These are requirements for human thriving. And when one of these needs goes unmet, your brain goes into survival mode. It starts searching for anything that can meet that need quickly. And substances, behaviors, escapes, they work fast. they're effective. For about 5 minutes, they actually do meet the need. That's why they're so seductive. That's why you keep going back even though you know they're destroying you, because in that moment, they work. They give you relief from anxiety so you feel safe for a minute. They give you confidence in social situations so you feel connected. They make you feel powerful when life makes you feel powerless so you feel significant. They numb emotional pain so you don't have to feel the unbearable weight of your suffering. You're not addicted to the substance. You're addicted to what the substance gives you. And once you understand this, everything changes, because now you can ask a different question. Instead of how do I stop using, you can ask what need is this trying to meet, and how can I meet that need in a way that actually honors me, that actually works, that doesn't destroy my life.
Let me give you some examples. Let's say you crave alcohol every night. You come home from work and the first thing you want is a drink. You've tried to stop, but the craving is overwhelming. So instead of fighting it, ask it, what are you giving me? And if you're honest, the answer might be relaxation, relief from the stress of the day, a way to turn off the anxiety that's been running in the background for 8 hours. So the real need isn't alcohol. The real need is nervous system regulation. Your body needs to shift from fight or flight mode to rest and digest mode. Alcohol does that, but it does it in a way that creates more problems. So what else could meet that need? Deep breathing exercises, a hot bath, progressive muscle relaxation, going for a walk, stretching, playing with your dog. These things also regulate your nervous system, but they don't destroy your liver, your relationships, your life. Or let's say you use substances when you're lonely. You're sitting at home on a Friday night and everyone else seems to have plans and you feel invisible and insignificant and the loneliness is crushing. So you use. And for a little while, you don't feel lonely anymore. So the real need isn't the substance. The real need is connection. Your soul is aching for human contact, for belonging, for mattering to someone. So what else could meet that need? Text one person. Make one phone call. Go to one meeting where other people are. Join an online community. Sit in a coffee shop around other humans. Pet your dog or cat. Connection in any form. It won't be as fast as the substance, but it will actually work. It will actually fill the emptiness instead of just covering it up for 5 minutes. This is the Japanese approach. Identify the real need. Honor it. Don't shame yourself for having it. These needs are human. They're universal. Everyone needs safety, connection, significance. You're not broken for needing these things. You're human. The problem was never the need. The problem was the method you were using to meet it. And now that you understand the real need, you can find a new method, one that doesn't hurt you. Now let me teach you something that might sound strange at first, but it's one of the most powerful practices in Zen Buddhism. It's called Mondo. It means question and answer dialogue. It's how Zen masters teach their students, not through lectures or sermons, but through conversation, through asking questions that reveal truth. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to start having a Mondo with your addiction. When the craving comes, instead of fighting it, instead of hating it, instead of thinking, no, go away, I hate you, try this. Say hello to it. Welcome it. Not because you're going to give in to it, but because you're going to learn from it. Say, hello, craving. I see you. You're here again. What are you trying to protect me from right now? What feeling don't you want me to feel? What truth are you helping me avoid? And then listen. Actually listen. Don't just dismiss it. Don't just fight it. Be curious. Be genuinely interested in what it has to tell you. This isn't giving in. This isn't surrender in the way you think. This is curiosity. And curiosity is more powerful than combat. Because when you're curious, you're learning. You're gathering information. You're understanding yourself at a deeper level. When you're fighting, you're just exhausting yourself. You're using all your energy to resist something that will keep coming back until you understand what it's trying to teach you. The samurai had a principle, know your enemy. But they also knew that the deepest enemy is always internal.
It's not the person across from you on the battlefield. It's the fear inside you, the doubt, the shame, the unhealed wounds. And you can't defeat an internal enemy through combat. You can only transform it through understanding, through seeing it clearly, through asking it, "What are you protecting me from?" And then having the courage to face that thing directly instead of running from it through substances or behaviors or escapes. So here's how you practice this. Here are the 4 steps. When a craving or urge arises, do not fight it. Step 1. Welcome the messenger. Say out loud or in your mind, "Welcome, I see you. You are not my enemy, you are my teacher. What have you come to show me?" This immediately shifts your relationship from combat to curiosity. You're not giving in to the craving, you're listening to what it's pointing toward. Step 2. Identify the unmet need. Ask yourself, what is this craving offering me? What does it promise? If it promises relief, the need is nervous system regulation. If it promises escape, the need is presence with uncomfortable feelings. If it promises confidence, the need is self-acceptance or connection. If it promises numbness, the need is processing emotional pain that feels too big to face. Write it down. Name it clearly. The need is real. It's valid. You're not broken for having it. Step 3. Honor the intention, redirect the action. Say to yourself and mean it, "Thank you for trying to help me. You've been doing your best to protect me. I understand that now, but there's a better way. I don't need you to hurt me anymore to help me." Then ask, "How can I meet this need in a way that honors me?" If you need safety, take 5 deep breaths. Call someone who makes you feel safe. Ground yourself in the present moment with the 5 senses technique. If you need connection, text one person, sit with your pet, go where other humans are, join an online meeting. If you need to process pain, journal for 5 minutes, let yourself cry, move your body, dance, punch a pillow, do something that lets the emotion move through you instead of getting stuck. Step 4, the Kintsugi reflection. Do this every evening before bed. It takes 5 minutes. Ask yourself 3 questions. What crack showed itself today? What pain, what fear, what need became visible? How did I try to fill it? Did I use the addiction or did I find a new way? And what gold can I pour into this crack? What did I learn today? How did I grow? Write it down. Keep a journal. Over time, you'll see something beautiful happening. You'll see that you're not collecting failures. You're creating a map of your healing. The cracks are becoming gold. The breaks are becoming beautiful. Let me come back to where we started. You came into this video at war with yourself, fighting your addiction like it was an enemy that must be destroyed, hating yourself every time you gave in, drowning in shame every time you relapsed, believing that your struggle was proof that you were weak, broken, fundamentally flawed. But now you know something different. You know that addiction isn't the enemy, it's the messenger. You learned the ancient Zen teaching. The demon that visits you every night isn't there to destroy you, it's there to teach you. And when you stop fighting it and start listening to it, it transforms from a demon into a guide. You learned Kintsugi philosophy. Your brokenness isn't a flaw, it's where the gold goes. The cracks in your life, the struggles, the relapses, they're not making you less valuable. They're making your healing more beautiful. They're making you a work of art. You learned that underneath every craving is an unmet need. And when you stop fighting the craving and start meeting the need, everything shifts. You learned that you're not addicted to the substance, you're addicted to what it represents. Safety, connection, relief, escape, significance. And those needs, they're human, they're valid, they're worthy of being met in ways that honor you instead of destroying you. You learned the samurai's secret. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the willingness to turn the blade inward, to face what you've been running from, to ask the demon, "What have you come to teach me?" and to have the bravery to sit with the answer, even when it's uncomfortable. So here's what I want you to remember, especially on the days when the shame feels crushing and the fight feels impossible and you just want to give up. I am not at war with myself. I am learning to listen to myself. My addiction is not my enemy, it's my teacher. My brokenness is not my flaw, it's where the gold goes. I am not weak for struggling, I am human for feeling. And every day I choose to meet my needs with compassion instead of destruction. I am pouring gold into the cracks. I am becoming more beautiful, not despite my struggle, but because of it. Write that down. Put it somewhere you'll see it every morning. Say it when the shame comes. Let it sink into your bones. Because you are not broken. You were never broken. You're a Kintsugi masterpiece in progress. And the cracks, the struggles, the pain, they're not mistakes. They're exactly where the light gets in. They're exactly where the gold goes. If this perspective shifted something in you, if you see your struggle differently now, if you feel even a tiny bit less at war with yourself, hit that like button. It tells me this wisdom is landing where it needs to land, that these ancient teachings are still alive, still relevant, still healing. And if you want more of this, ancient Japanese philosophy that honors your humanity instead of demanding perfection, wisdom that sees your pain as a teacher instead of a failure, subscribe to Wisdom Forgotten. We're building something sacred here, a community of people who are done fighting themselves and ready to heal with compassion, who understand that the path to freedom isn't through battle, but through listening, through curiosity, through courage.
Leave a comment and tell me, what unmet need has your addiction been trying to show you? What crack in your life is ready to be filled with gold? I read every single comment. Your story matters. Your healing matters. And when you share your truth, you give someone else permission to face theirs. That's how we heal, together. Not in isolation, not in shame, but in community, in compassion, in honesty. And if someone you love is drowning in shame right now, someone who thinks they're broken beyond repair, someone who's fighting a war they can't win, share this video with them. Not as a lecture, not as judgment, but as a reminder. The demon is not your enemy, it's your teacher. The cracks are not your failure, they're where the gold goes. The struggle is not proof that you're broken, it's proof that you're becoming. Let me leave you with one final thought. In Japanese tea ceremony, there's a principle called Ichigo Ichie. It means this moment, once in a lifetime. Every moment is unrepeatable. Every moment is precious. Every moment is an opportunity, including this one. Right now, in this moment, you have a choice. You can keep fighting yourself, or you can start listening to yourself. You can keep seeing your addiction as proof that you're broken, or you can start seeing it as a teacher showing you where you need healing. The demon is waiting for you to stop fighting and start listening. The cracks are waiting for the gold. Your Kintsugi is waiting to be created. Welcome the messenger. Honor the cracks. Pour the gold. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, be gentle with yourself. You're not at war. You're healing. And that's the bravest thing you could possibly do.